Time for another video. Let's talk about Depeche Mode. Talking about Depeche Mode on this channel, really? Hi guys, and welcome to Piano and Keyboard Artist, where we discuss the artists related to pianos, keyboards and synthesizers. And continuing with my Depeche Mode album review series as part of the Music for the Masses series, we're going to digress slightly and talk today about the Strange VHS, the music video series that was produced by Anton Corbijn. So the story so far in the Depeche Mode album review series, we are up to part 4 in the Music for the Masses series. Links to all those videos are in the description below. And I also, as you know, interviewed Dave Bascombe regarding the production of the Music for the Masses album. If you haven't seen those, as I say, all the links to those videos are in the description below. But today I want to talk really about the Strange video series. Now this came out in 1988 and was directed by Anton Corbijn. And Anton, as we know, was the first sort of director which the band really felt got them visually. And that is for obvious reasons that they've been using him ever since. Ever since the first video for A Question of Time back in 1987, Anton proved that he could marry their sound to the visuals. And this is something I think the band struggled with for years, was to get their music videos to actually marry and gel with the sound of their music. Because if you think of their earlier music videos, like their early music videos were quite cheesy, and I say that with respect. Just can't get enough. Everything counts. And if you think of Get the Balance Right, which was Alan Wilder's first single within the band, what I always found funny about that music video was the fact that Alan Wilder was, you know, miming the words or singing on the music video. And apparently, I don't know if that's true, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but when the film director came in, he just called Alan over, and he just assumed Alan was the lead singer. And that to me shows how little interest a lot of video directors had in their music videos. Martin Gore spoke in an interview how he really felt that directors of photography and music video producers in the early days didn't take them seriously and were like just taking the piss. And that's quite evident. If I think of, is it See You, where they're holding a chicken? Yeah, early music videos were very hit and miss. But when they got to Shake the Disease, I really feel that Shake the Disease, in my opinion, was the very first music video which really gelled with the sound of Depeche Mode. You know, it really had a hard, dark edge to it. Now, do check out my interview with Peter Kerr. Peter Kerr was the director, the guy who directed the music video for Shake the Disease. Link in the description below. And it was a very fascinating conversation to speak to the man who really made that music video happen, and just how he really understood it, you know, what Depeche Mode should look like visually. Peter Kerr obviously also went on to do the music videos for Stripped and It's Called a Heart. And I will be interviewing Peter Kerr coming soon, and we will be talking about the music video for Stripped. But coming back to Strange, this was, as I say, the first music video Anton did. Now, Anton did speak in an interview once that when he produces a music video for Depeche Mode, or when he comes up for a visual concept, he doesn't really listen to the lyrics. He goes more with the feel of the music, and he talks about their music being very layered and very filmic. And that is why, ever since Anton came on board, Depeche Mode's music videos, a lot of them have been very, very filmic. So Anton really did understand them, and that is why Anton is still involved with the band these days. They really trust him. But Anton didn't only do the videos, he also went on to become like an artistic director for the band. And as I say, I don't want to sort of focus this video on Anton's input in the band per se, but Anton really did marry the visuals to the sound. And I remember the first time when I saw this strange video. Many years ago, you guys know I got into Depeche Mode. Now, I had been listening to Depeche Mode for many years before I actually saw this strange video music series. And I'll be honest with you, I was very disappointed when I first saw it, because I just thought, God, this looks so low budget, this looks so cheap, and I really couldn't understand how a band with so much money would, you know, release such cheap looking music videos. Of course, I completely missed the point. I understand that now, and this video series, and indeed Strange 2, which he made for the Violator series, I think I really, really love these videos. I think Anton really captured the essence of the band. You know, this was a band in their prime, and just the visual aesthetic he took, the feel and everything. Now, one of the defining components of this video was the fact that Anton filmed this on Super 8, and that gives it that sort of grainy, black and white amateur look. You know, the real sort of art house. And looking at it again, you know, the other day, just to sort of brush up for this video, I do look at this as like a stroke of genius. As I say, when I saw it many years ago, I think it was just over the top and over my head. Now, this is because when we listen to music, we visualize things. Have you ever been immersed in music? I'm sure you have. And when you're listening to music, you picture things, you visualize things. And this is why I think I was disappointed when I initially saw the video series many years ago, was because the visuals that were on these videos didn't really fit with what I had envisioned, especially like Never Let Me Down Again. You know, to me, that was like a barren, droning, open landscape. Just really droning. And of course, when I saw the music video to it, I was like, I really didn't get it when I first saw it. I thought, what the hell is this? Here's Dave sitting at a table with this old man drinking tea, and now Dave's in a little car, a little 3-wheel car driving around. I just didn't get it. But as I say, I really get it now. And looking at how the video started, he uses Agent Orange as the sort of introduction to this video. And one of the sort of standout things about this video was the fact that it was obviously all in black and white, but the speaker cones, which were like a iconic symbol of Depeche Mode during this period, all the speaker cones were in red. Yeah, they sort of stood out. This was one of the sort of standout elements of this video series, was the black and white presentation, but with the speaker cones sort of you know, popping out in red in full color every now and then. So starts off with Agent Orange. You've got this big droning open landscape, and there's a Depeche Mode museum, and we hear the opening notes to Agent Orange. And there's a girl standing at the door in black leather. And she invites you in, and you walk in, and then it starts off with A Question of Time. Now, A Question of Time, as I say, was the very first music video which Anton did for the band, and this was filmed in America, and they're in this house. There's this baby crawling on the floor, and there's a clock. And there's Fletch holding the baby, and then there's I think all the band have parts holding the baby, and then there's this motorcyclist with a sidecar just riding through it. But now, if you listen to the bum 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 bum, and then boom, 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 the bass line, and just the feel of that song, this video goes perfectly with it. I just wouldn't want it any other way. The video is quirky, edgy, It's a little bit 80s, of course it is, but at the same time it was ahead of its time and definitely better than a lot of the bands around at that time. You know, the Depeche Mode just definitely had edge. And Anton was the first one of the first video directors since Peter Kerr that really sort of got them. He really knew, okay, this is what you sound like, this is what you need to look like. I therefore feel that Anton deserves full respect for the visual strength which he has given Depeche Mode over the years. We then get to the second music video, which is Strange Love, and this being the 7-inch version which they used. And this was filmed in Paris, and I'm just thinking of them, the 4 members standing with, you know, like this, and they've got, the one's got L, the one's got O, and the one's got V, and the one's got E written on their hands, L-O-V-E. A little bit cheesy, I suppose, but Anton was very good at this, and this is where Martin spoke on an interview how Anton's good because although he's very serious, he does sort of bring quirkiness into it, so it's not completely dark and downbeat. He does bring elements of humor to it, and I'm just thinking ahead of many of the videos. I'm thinking of Halo, for instance. You know, that was quite dark but quite quirky at the same time. Martin juggling and, you know, being and Dave being the strongest man in the universe. Anyway, we'll get to that when we get to Violator. Remain on topic. But the Strange Love video is great. It's filmed in Paris, and you know, it's got all these women in it, and they are intentionally made to look like prostitutes. It's really dark and edgy, and it's very sexy. This video was great. It is completely different to the American release. Now, talking about the Strange Love music video for the American release, it obviously had a lot more money thrown at it. It was kind of like Depeche Mode selling out a little bit, but I think this was obviously the management who decided they should do this. I can imagine Alan Wilder being particularly pissed off about this, because Alan was really pissed off about a lot of decisions that were made, and we'll get into that in another video. But this video, I don't know who directed it, was very sort of like Strange Love. It was real sort of, you know, lights and flashing, and it was just, I don't know. I don't think it was as good as the one in the Strange video series, by no means. But of course, it's out there and it did what it did. Now, coming back to the Strange Love in the Strange video series, absolutely timeless, brilliant, sexy, edgy, a little bit quirky. What can I say? Perfect mode, 87, a la mode. The third music video is a true epic Depeche Mode classic. Never Let Me Down Again. And as I said, when I first saw this music video many years ago, I was like, well, this doesn't look like what I have in my head, but looking at it now, it's brilliant. I just love the old man sitting there at the table, drinking his tea, and Dave's like, they just look so odd together. It's brilliant. And then Dave pulls out in this little 3-wheeler car, like a sort of like a Del Boy car. Here in the UK, we got a thing called Only Fools and Horses with Del Boy, and they had this 3-wheeler car. Anyway, it's not the same kind of car, but it was a 3-wheeler car. Dave in a 3-wheeler car, and I couldn't really understand the music video. Once again, music videos don't necessarily have to relate to the lyrics, and indeed in Depeche Mode's case they don't. As I say, Anton works with the feel and the music rather than the lyrics. But this video is kind of Dave driving in this little 3-wheel car. Is it in cornfields or wheat fields? And the band are like running. They're trying to stop him, and they're trying to signal him to. I don't know what they're trying to do, and then at some point you see them carrying Dave out into the fields. I don't know if he had an accident or what. Now, I love the fact that for this music video, they used the split mix. Okay, there are different edits, but on this VHS series, they used the split mix. And I have my Depeche Mode Never Let Me Down Again single here. And this is the split mix. And the split mix of Never Let Me Down Again is one of my favorite of their sort of singles of their extended singles, that is. I love the split mix because when you get to the end of the "See the stars, they're shining bright, everything's alright tonight," and then it ends, then it starts again. And in this video, Dave's shoes come off, and I love the way his shoes start moving, and then they go to a club and some dude puts his shoes on and starts dancing. It's absolutely hilarious. So yeah, there's the quirkiness. There's the Anton quirkiness in this video. It starts off very serious. There's Dave sitting at a table. Then he gets in the car. There's a bit of quirkiness because it's Dave gone in a shitty little three-wheeler car. And then it gets quite sinister because as he's driving, you can see the other band members running and they're trying to signal him, move, other way. No, don't go that way for whatever reason. And then you see them carrying him out. As I say, we don't know if he's had an accident or what. But then his shoes come off and start walking. And you see that is the Anton humor again. It's very sort of like a dark comedy. Humor is always good within the Depeche Mode videos. I love it. It's really hilarious. Before we continue, it's worth mentioning that this video series was actually produced by Richard Bell and it was directed by Anton Corbijn. Okay, so we get to the next music video, which is Behind the Wheel. And this was a remix. I can't remember who did the remix, but it was the the very sort of like dancey, techno-y kind of version. And what was funny was, I remember when I was interviewing Dave Bascombe, we spoke about this particular version. And Dave Bascombe said he found it strange because Depeche Mode had this philosophy or this ideology or this work ethic when he produced them. And we know it was never use the same sound twice, always produce sounds from scratch and, you know, things like that. And never use hi-hats, which Dave Bascombe found strange. But then as Dave said, what was funny was when you watch this version of Behind the Wheel, you know, there's all the sort of cliche dance elements of the time within that. So anyway, I don't know why Depeche Mode decided to use that mix for this music video. I would have preferred the album version, but anyway, this is what we got. So this video is really Dave again. This time he's in crutches. Obviously this is following on from the last music video. There's like a narrative running through. So in Never Let Me Down Again, I think he had an accident or something, so he's now in crutches. And this he's hitchhiking, and this girl on a Vespa comes and picks him up, and he gets on the back. Now, once again, it's very comical because it's, you can imagine, just like in the previous music video, we had Dave in a three-wheeled car. Now we've got Dave on a Vespa. That's so funny. So this is the Anton humor coming in again. And once again, this music video is very art house. It's very, you know, avant-garde, arty-farty, but it just absolutely works. And yeah, Dave on a Vespa. Once again, the Anton humor comes through, but not in a way that is kind of breaking the tone or is kind of contrasting to what the message is. It just works. It just absolutely works. We then get a scene of a beautiful young Italian woman, you know, with a headscarf and glasses, sitting in a darkened room going, "Allora, my name is," what was it, Ippolita Santarelli. And she's talking about, I met Dave, I was riding on my Vespa, and is that a French accent? No, Italian. I am riding on my Vespa and I met this boy with the crutches. Is Dave. He got on my bike. I love Dave. He is my little Marlon. I want to invite him to my museum, and then I want to meet him again so we can go dancing. I love this. It's so random. But I love the fact that he Anton, or whoever decided, probably Anton, to use an Italian woman, because it just adds a certain, you know, sort of like, oh, Italiano, a very sort of sexiness to it. If he used a French woman, it could have had the same thing. It's for obvious reasons he didn't use an Essex girl. "Hello, this is Dave. I picked him up while I was riding my motorbike. Yeah, he's my little Marlon. I want to go clubbing with him, yeah?" My generic Essex girl accent, which actually sounds like Fletch. Anyway, so you've got that scene, and it just adds a bit of art house, a bit of, and it's just, you know, there's no music in the background. It's just, this is really, really arty farty. We then move on to the final music video, which is Pimp. And this is just mad. This is Martin inside the little wooden structure, the museum. And he's sitting there with his fingernails painted black, and he's completely fetished out with his leathers. And Martin, you kinky bastard. He's all sitting in a dark room with his, you know, he's all gothed up, and he's it's just so funny. I love it. It's just so random. And then you see the band sort of, the other three members sort of looking down on the hill and then walking up to this museum, and then Dave kicks a sign over that says Pimp, and they're all going, home in, home in, home. And it's just really like, it's just mad. I don't know how much weed was smoked on this set, but it was so funny. And I just love it when they get to the door and they're like, home in. They're like knocking on, they're trying to get on. And then the best part is when Fletch actually headbutts, he headbutts the door. Home. Can you just imagine if they used Fletch to do the vocals on this? It would have been home in, home in. But yeah, I love the scene. Fletch actually headbutts the door. Let me in, Martin, for fuck's sakes. And this is just hilarious. But there are two ways of looking at this. You can look at it as if though it's funny, but you can also look at it as if though it's quite creepy and weird. It's just if you just think of it, it's this little wooden house in the middle of the desert, and there's this guy inside with makeup and black fingernails, dressed in fetish gear, playing a piano. And then these other three guys come down and they're trying to bash in, and then of course they knock the thing down, and one of them's left standing with a megaphone. It's completely mad, but it doesn't have to be anything but that. I love this music video. I love this series. I think it is brilliant, and as time goes by, this will just become more and more classical and more timeless. Right, and that concludes this video on my feelings and my opinions on this Strange video series. I do look forward to talking about Strange 2 when I get to my Violator album review series. And talking about the album review series, with the music for the masses, we're up to part 4. The next video, which comes out on Sunday, I will be talking about the singles and the B-sides that were released within the album, the music for the masses album review period. And then next Wednesday is the final part of the album review series for Music for the Masses. And in that, we're going to just have a recap. I'll run through the last few songs, and at the end, we'll do the 5 questions, and I will rate this album out of 10. Right, and now for a little bit of housekeeping. If this is your first time to my channel, I would like to welcome you with open arms. Please hit the subscribe button and like, and leave your comments below. Let me know, guys, what did you think of Strange? Anything you'd like to say. Any memories, any insights, absolutely anything you'd like to say about it. Share this wonderful memory, with the community. This was a great time in music, it really was. There is also a Vaughan George Facebook group which is linked to this channel, and the reason for that group is for us to discuss the videos that we talk about in this channel, so do join that. I've also just started a Vaughan George artist and producers forum, and that is for you if you're a musician or a producer and you would like to gel with and connect with other musicians and producers within this community, as well as share your music. We'd love to hear from you. I'm also on Twitter, Instagram, and I would like to thank my patrons for your loyal support. Right, guys, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you then. Adios.